What is up, beautiful people? Kirby Hasseman here, trying to deliver you just a little bit more marketing joy here on this channel. And so today I want to talk to you about why cold calls don't work. Now, we'll start off with the obligatory. Of course, sometimes they work, but for most of the time, for the majority of time, cold calls are just not a very efficient way to create more sales. And we're going to talk about why they don't work and then a new way for you to kind of implement into creating sales with your team. Now, hopefully these videos are providing you some value, or these podcasts are providing you some value. So if so, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and I'll keep them coming. Okay, so why do cold calls not work? I think so many times as businesses, we look at things from our perspective. And the reality of it is, just like anything else, sales is a numbers game. It is. So the more sales calls you make, ultimately and generally, the more sales you're going to make. And I think sometimes on the lazy side, we salespeople, we don't want to believe that. We want there to be an easy button, right? We want there to be a better way for us to go to market. We want to say, hey, we want to work smarter, not harder. And of course, we want to do that. And we're going to talk about that today. But sometimes working harder is the way to do it. Sometimes the numbers, if you just make more calls, you will get more sales. However, I would also say, because we look at it from our perspective, we don't always view it from the other side, from the customer perspective. And most of us do not like to be interrupted, right? It's also the reason content marketing tends to work, because we are seeking it out. We're not being interrupted on the way to doing the thing we want to do. And the same thing is true with cold calls. Nobody likes getting a call on their cell phone from a complete stranger who knows nothing about you, doesn't understand your situation, doesn't understand your needs, and they're just trying to sell you something off the jump. It's the reason that we don't like, as a rule, being picked up at a bar, because it's one of those things where, hey, you don't know me, you haven't developed a relationship with me, and those people who try to go for the close at the bar, we don't often view as very nice people, right? But on the other side, when we are trying to sell on a cold call, we are that guy at the bar. We're trying to close on the first interaction. And so I want to kind of pitch to you a new way of doing it, something that we have talked about. Instead of calling it a cold call, we're talking about a contact call. So what is a contact call? The contact call is a similar concept where you are making those calls, you are reaching out, you are stopping face to face, whatever it is, but the goal is not to sell anything. The goal is to find the person who makes those purchasing decisions and to gain their contact information so that you can sell to them, you can set up appointments, you can go through your process in a more thoughtful way. So I'll give you an example. So when Kelly Bow, who's one of our salespeople here at Hasseman Marketing, started, she knew that though she was walking into some package of sales, she knew if she wanted to get where she wanted to go, she had to increase her sales. So she said, I am just so uncomfortable with cold calls. And I said, well, why don't I come along with you? And so I said, make a list of every prospect in your area. And we did this physically. We actually drove to them and made actual calls. But make a list of everyone you could possibly imagine in that physical area that we could go call on. And she said, we won't have time. I said, I think we might. And so we got in my vehicle and started by going to each location. And when we walked in, our goal was not to sell them anything. We were just trying to get the contact information of the person. And what happens is, what you're doing is showing that potential client respect. Look, I'm not trying to hijack your day. I'm going to respect your time. And you're also allowing that gatekeeper sort of an out. Like, oh, okay, I'm not putting them in front of them. I'm just going to give them a business card, and that's going to allow them to go away. And so when you change the goal of what you're trying to accomplish during that, you're not trying to sell them something, you're trying to gain their information so that you can down the road sell them something, so that you can build a relationship with them. It changes the dynamic completely. And it also changes your confidence in doing so, because you know you are doing something that is non-offensive. It doesn't put you on the defensive. It's a little bit less adversarial. And so when you change from a cold call to a contact call, often you can have incredible success. And so what happened? Well, that day with Kelly, we went through all of every single ideal place. We stopped there, got contact information. P.S. We were 100% successful. It doesn't always work like that, but we got the name of the person that she needed to talk to 100% of the time because it was easy and we were done by lunch. And so I think then, of course, if you're going to do that way, the pitch then is that the fortune's in the follow-up. And so you have to then have a process in place to go ahead and continue the process of the sales journey, to build that relationship and to follow up so that you can improve your sales numbers and grow your sales in whatever capacity you're doing. Now, I will tell you, we are going to do a little bit of a deep dive into this, into a new sales course on betterbusinessu.com, and that's coming soon. But if you take nothing away from this video other than instead of going for the cold call, go for the contact call, I think you're going to have a lot more success and, quite frankly, be a little less anxious in the process. So I hope this provided you just a little quick tidbit of information, a little bit of value. And if so, I'd love it if you would subscribe. Just subscribe to the channel you're listening to this on right now. And of course, if you do want more information on a new sales course, you can go to betterbusinessu.com. Hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.